Welcome back, episode 5, Wild Thoughts podcast. We did not actually plan to match. Like, we usually match our hoodies, but
the flannels, no.
And I think
in the white top,
we look super cute.
She copied me on the jean outfit.
I actually did, and I need to get me more of these because I don't really have fall outfits. Is it a shacket?
It's called a shacket.
What is a shacket? Is it a sweater jacket?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what's funny? I still haven't gotten used to calling sweaters because we call them jerseys. But if I am to buy something online and I put in a jersey, automatically a football jersey comes up. And I'm like, I went to brunch once with a friend who's from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, what are you going to wear? And I was like, an oversized jersey because it was during winter. But I meant a granny sweater. And she was like, we're going to Little Hen, which is super cute. You take photos, it's Instagrammable. Everybody's dressing up.
A baseball jersey.
And she was like, I can see you being super cute in a sports oversized t-shirt, but is that what you mean? And I was like, no.
So they don't call it that over there?
No, I think they also say sweater. Or maybe she just automatically assumed that because I'm a tomboy. But yeah. We look super cute. Do you like our fall decorations? Sydney's trying to convert me because fall's quite a big thing here.
Yeah.
Is fall autumn? It's just called fall?
Yeah.
Okay.
You call it either or.
But nobody calls it autumn here.
Yeah, people do. It's more like...
I've never met somebody other than myself.
Autumn is
Autumn.
The leaves are really pretty.
Yeah.
Here's just fall. Up north, the trees get really pretty.
Okay, so it depends on
yellow. I feel like
does it depend
here
on
let's call it fall.
The leaves?
No, it's the same thing. But to me, I say a true autumn is up north.
Okay.
It's cold. The trees are beautiful. Yeah. It's the perfect.
We just have it autumn, winter, summer, spring.
Flew by me. No, but fall here is so stupid and boring.
Yeah.
I'm a hater.
I mean, I don't know. Something's stressing her. I don't know much about it. It's not a big thing to celebrate. Back in SA, we'll have spring day. When you're at school, you dress you make something flowery.
When is it cold by you guys? It's opposite, right?
Yeah. So right now it's winter.
You guys have pumpkins over there?
No. We have to talk about this during our Halloween segment because we don't really celebrate Halloween. It's not a... We have pumpkins, but it's not you go to a pumpkin patch and you carve a pumpkin. No. The first time I did it was in COVID for Halloween. I had so much fun though.
I've carved a pumpkin every single year.
What's his name from The Nightmare Before Christmas? Jack? Yeah. Haley, last year, 1 year old, obsessed with The Nightmare Before Christmas song. That was her lullaby to go to sleep. She would not fall asleep to anything else. And it's so freaky. It's this is Halloween. And my mother-in-law, she doesn't speak any English. So when she came over and we started playing it for her, she was saying to Rancis and I, oh, you guys are diabolic. Why would you play this for the child? And she wouldn't understand that she would cry and she called it the pumpkin song. If the pumpkin song is
that's
not
the pumpkin song.
Yeah. So
she putting tunes in the pumpkin song.
And she would go to sleep within 5 minutes of that song being on.
I remember, yes, the pumpkin song. Yeah. I played that.
And our neighbors have I don't even think it's 5 foot. It's probably the size of their house. A statue skeleton of Pumpkin Jack.
Oh, I think you.
And it makes noises and everything. So she was super obsessed with this. But we definitely will have
we can't dive
some
into
chat about that.
We have to do a whole episode for that.
Yeah. But what are we drinking today?
Italian Moscato. You're not Moscato.
Moscato makes me drunk really fast, actually. I used to drink this all the time at what was I saying? I used to drink this all the time, at outdoor pool parties in my younger years. And after 2, I'd be
you're so fancy. This is really good.
No, it wasn't fancy because it was free. It was ladies drink for free, and this is what they gave. I think it was the cheap alcohol. And you'd get drunk so fast because it's sweet.
Where'd you get it from? Aldi? I'm just kidding. You go to Aldi a bunch. Aldi and Kroger.
Okay.
I knew it. I don't know it too. No, Aldi has really good wine. I've bought
And
wine
it's
from there.
girl,
And it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's like $7.
Yeah. They have like a $3 one as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should trust it, but yeah.
Sometimes I get like, I know when I go, their prices are expensive. I cannot leave there without spending $100, and I don't have anything.
But $100 is literally a 2-week grocery shop.
Not for us.
How much do you eat?
That's what I'm saying.
I literally just paid $187. Fridge is full, pantry is full.
No, I feel like when I go there, I have trouble making meals with their stuff.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't go there bad. Like every shift after work, I would go to Publix if it was before they closed. And it is like a sponge cake with a strawberry filling. And I get the personal square and I just eat it in my car.
You?
That and then pub subs.
Oh no, I used to the eclairs. Last week we spoke about icks. We had a few people tell us the icks.
Yeah, they did.
Sydney hasn't shared it with me yet, so this is going to be the first time that I hear what some people say. Say it. Let's go. I'm ready for it.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it. Really into cars.
Is that number one?
No, I scrolled through some.
Okay. That would be funny. And if you didn't watch last week's episode, it doesn't make sense to you. So stop this one, go back,
go
come and watch it.
I don't want to read number one because number one's kind of lame. You ready? Can't unhook a bra.
It's 2024. Like, you should not be struggling with that. I totally get it. Because then you're just like there fiddling for like everything, all the foreplay, everything has gone out the window. It's like, yeah.
Speaking of bed, only has one pillow on their bed.
I don't know how I feel about that because I used to sleep with no pillows.
Yeah.
But still have the pillows there, so it felt like somebody was like in the bed with
Sean
me.
Has this little one raggedy pillow.
Yeah, I only sleep with one pillow. I can't. It like strains my neck.
Running with a backpack on.
I would totally get the ick. And that's that like the hustle run.
Hold on. I want to find.
Can we add like tying your shoelaces super tight? That is like. I'm sorry. That is one of mine. If your shoes are tied so tight, then.
Okay. Having long fingernails.
Again, if you didn't watch last week's episode, you wouldn't understand.
Growling on a date.
Growling on a date? Who are some of you people growling on a date?
A mirror on the ceiling. That's you and your slut days.
Can we just point out, I really was not
once again, last episode.
A mirror on the ceiling? Yeah, that's a certain type.
Noisy eating. That is mine.
Like yeah.
Not it. My brother and my sister.
And like loud swallowing.
My sister and I hate it. When I first met Sean and we first started like living together, he went and got chips at like, it was late at night. I made him go stand in the closet and eat them. Do not crunch your chips in my face. My sister made her.
I'm laughing because this is Rances. Like, and I have no chill with it. I would literally shout, "Shut up!" or "Get out!"
My sister made her boyfriend go stand in the garage and eat like pistachios or
nuts.
It's
like that first crunch. It's like.
If I'm eating crackers or something, I'll make sure like if my sister's around, like we're both so bad about it, like we'll just let it sit in our mouth for a while and then she used to like want to punch me in my face.
That is hilarious.
Or chewing. It's bad. Yeah.
All right.
I think that was
it.
Those were some good
I know there was one in our DMs that also was like when he doesn't split the bowl.
Yeah.
No, when he asks to split the bowl.
And it's your first date or something.
I don't know how I feel about this.
No.
firstly, if you asking me out, like I would reach for my wallet or whatever.
The TikTok?
Yeah.
How does it go?
Which
What
one?
do I owe you? Oh, nothing. It's on the house. Are you sure? And she opens her bag. That's like a lipstick in her card key or something.
Oh, I've seen one where she's like takes the shoes to the teller, and then she like zips open her bag, and he's watching, and she just pulls out her lipstick, and he's like, okay. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I think if I'm being invited on a date, and I know that it's a date, like the expectation for if you're taking me out, I think it's there. But like, I'm also not that type of person to be like, oh, I can't also pay for myself.
Yeah.
If I was expected to pay, that's a whole different ball game, because first of all, if I asked you out, I would take you where I want to take you. Yeah. And then also, like, is it a date or is it a friend date, or it's like just like, hey, we're going out?
Yeah. I feel like it's if it's a given, like I don't know what I'm saying. Hold on. I don't know when it started. Like the man was supposed to like pay. That's just how society is. Like the man usually takes care of the bill.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think if we went out on our date, Sean would stare at me waiting to pull out my card. Like,
you see, like, I don't know. I say
or even if you share a card, do you pull your, like a bank account, do you pull your, no, your husband pulls up the card.
It's weird. Like, if I think of like 50-50 households, like, how do you feel on 50-50 households?
We do 50-50.
You do 50-50. We do 50-50. And I will say, like, I was in a relationship where we did 50-50, but there's a difference between my now relationship to that relationship. And I get the concept behind the man being the man.
Yeah.
And in my previous relationship, we did 50-50. But it got to a point where I think like we were in different stages of our careers.
Yeah.
And in also saying maturity. Yeah. It got to a point where I felt like I was being both the man and the woman at times. Whereas I don't think that is fair. And I think that for me personally, I think this is where I'm a little bit old school in the sense of, if you have asked me out, like, you are responsible to pay. Yeah. In our 50-50 household now, because again, like, we both work, we both contribute to the bills, we both contribute to everything. If I was a stay-at-home like partner and I'm not making money, I don't know how I'd feel about that, because again, like, am I living off an allowance, or do I come from like a rich family that I have money in a bank account? But because we're in a household where we both work, Rances, since we've met, takes care of the bills. Yeah. In terms of, even though we both work and it's both of our salaries, he pays them. So when his salary comes in, he will pay the bills. I have never ever seen or had to pay a bill unless I'm paying like a doctor's bill and it's been addressed to me, or it's Haley's bills, or it's sitting there and he says, hey, I forgot to do this, can you pay it? Yeah. Cool, I pay it. So like, his salary covers the maintenance and the household things, and then my salary, it would be like when we do go out on date nights or if we travel, whatever. But again, like, it's sitting in one account, if we put it that way. But I think in terms of like a woman, I feel very like I get to live in my feminine era. So I get to put that guard down where it's like, I don't have to sit and do the budget. I don't have to worry about the bill is being paid or I have to do it. And I think that if what I've learned from my previous relationship is like, I took on that role. And I'm not going to say like, oh, it was his fault or it was my fault. I think I've always been independent, where I just didn't know how to let my guard down because I didn't feel protected. So I had to be the man for myself and the woman for myself. Yeah. So I didn't feel protected. So I felt like if I didn't pay the bills, it would accumulate. Or if I didn't have...
That was my last relationship, yeah.
Yeah.
Sean's aware of it
I
now.
didn't have like a savings from our savings for a savings, we're gonna end up being short, or I'm gonna end up being short, or
Yeah.
I'm going to suffer and not be able to enjoy when I actually want to go out and buy me something, or want to go out and travel. So I do think like 50-50 households, I'm all for it. I'm not against it. Again, I think it's everybody's background that is different to say like, oh, I don't believe in it, or I believe in it, unless you've been in the situation, or like you can't really say that you're for or against it. But I do think for me, it's more of, let me be the woman.
Yeah.
You want me to go grocery shopping? Okay, cool. If I'm not leaving my house, I'm doing it on Instacart. I'm still doing it. Like, let me be a mother. Like, I'm doing the motherly things. I'm getting Haley enrolled in school. I'm, making sure she's got her new school stationery and everything. So it's difficult because I had to learn to not be.
Yeah.
So like not overpowering, but like I had to learn to let somebody take care of me.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So like for the first few months, I was like, is everything done? And is rent paid? Is this paid? Is the car paid? And yeah.
See, I'm too controlling.
But I understand it because I've been there.
And it's
but also again, it's like the independent woman in us, where it's like, not that I don't need a man to take care of us, but it's like we want to make sure the job is done right.
The right way.
Yeah.
Like if I tell him to pay electric, he doesn't have the app. Like his card's saved on file, so I was like, hey, like we're paying it.
Yeah.
And like we're like newly married, and so our accounts are still separate. Like we're lazy. Everything's separate still. So I feel like once we share an account, it'll be more like, okay, he can take care of it. But he is the one like, hey, we need to pay. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, well, it's so easy. It's just in the app. But
also, I just think it's like Sean was born and raised here, and then he lived with his parents. So I feel like generally when you live with your parents, you don't have that responsibility until you move out. And like with Rances, he moved to the US and he was living by himself. So he kind of had to have that maturity from 18 years old.
And Sean moved into my apartment at the time, and I was
already
in
independent.
It, so it's all on my name. And then when we move, you just transfer. And so, yeah. And then like we don't have a house, so he doesn't have like mainly jobs like go mow the grass. Like it's an apartment. Like okay, they'll tell you to stop. But
well, we moved in here, and he was all for I'm gonna mow the lawn. And then after like one Texas summer, and we have somebody that does it. We have somebody.
When we were renting a house, I think he mowed the grass like twice, and he hired somebody. I'm like, no, yeah, we're 50-50. But like, if we are in a house, I expect him to do the outside stuff. I'm the inside. Like I'll do the laundry, I'll do the cleaning, the cooking, and if you're man, you need to take the trash out. You need to make sure the yard's cleaned up.
I will never take the trash out. Not
easy. We just set outside the door.
Not in the sense of like, ew, I will never take the trash out. I don't know. Like I will do it if I have to do it, but it comes back to like I've never done it.
Yeah.
So it would be weird.
Like, I'd be like, hey, can you take the trash out? And he did. He'd go put it in the trash can.
Yeah.
Like now you walk 10 steps and you sit outside the door and they come pick it up. Like
I love that I have a daughter because I use that now to my advantage. And I'm like, would you want a guy to let your daughter take the trash out? Like, and he'd be like, no, I don't want that.
When we have a baby, I'm gonna milk it so much, but I can't do this.
Yeah.
Can you do it? I'm gonna lay on the couch.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one.
Yeah, we talked about it whenever we have a baby. I told him like I just want to stay home. Like ever since when I had Savannah, I lived with my parents, so I was so like grateful they let me. I didn't have to worry about like working for a while, and we had just moved as well. So I think I was home for the first like 6 to 7 months of her life, which is so nice because now it's like 6 weeks and you have to go back to work. But I told him like ever since I was 16 and then minus the short amount of time after she was born, I've always worked.
Yeah.
Like if I have another baby, I want to stay home for a while. I'm like I want to make sure there's another income because I don't want it to just be him struggling and
it's honestly such a great gift to be able to be home with your kids. I mean, like I work from home since Haley was born, and even though I'm working, like just being able to be here with her and not miss any important moments, like that's honestly the best thing that I could be grateful for. Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah. But again, it's
The
it's tough
babysitter
because
watched her
not
take
having
her first steps. Like,
right? Like, or you have to see it on the nanny cam at the
Yeah.
daycare. That's hard. And it is even more difficult making the decision because like you come from a two income household and then going to one and you just introduced a new baby. Like unless you're coining it, it's not realistic, but it can be realistic, but it can also be
Yeah.
very difficult.
Unless you've been saving for like years and you've got like a thick savings.
Yeah. But then again, like I'm the type of person whereas I would say I don't want to use my savings knowing that because I'm not working. Like savings is like emergency, but also like I want to have some fun and like that's our travel fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I cannot travel, I don't know. I would not survive in Texas.
I love to travel, but it's so expensive. I just don't. I can't. I hate making those big purchases. Like just a flight alone, I'm like, I can't. I can't just seeing a big chunk of money just like go away when you've been saving it is like, oh, I'd just rather sit at home and just suffer.
But what would you do with it? Like, what would you do with that chunk of money? Because it's going to go somewhere.
It is.
You see, I had the same mentality, but then it just got to a point where it's like, if I do like die tomorrow, it's just gonna sit there and I've worked my ass off to have the savings. And again, like yes, if it's not gonna go to like traveling, it's gonna go into purchasing a house or purchasing a car. It's going somewhere. But I do again, it's like each to their own. And maybe it makes me sound bougie saying like I have to travel. But again, like
no, but you guys have a house, you have like your family's wonderful, like you have good jobs, like you have cars. It's like what are you gonna spend the money on? Like ours would be focusing on a house first and like having a child first. Like, those are our first two things. Like we would want to travel, but a baby is something that we'd want, and then a house.
Afterwards you can like talk about it.
We've been renting.
But also like for me, it's because the main reason for traveling is because like I just enjoy it. And I feel like that's where I get my money's worth. It's because I can sit back and like tell my kids about it one day. But also because I have friends like all over because of my previous job.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like no matter where I live, it's never going to satisfy me because I have a friend in Australia and I have friends in Dubai and my family's in South Africa and my friends that I grew up with is still there. And then it's like, you know, when I moved to Miami, now I have close friends in Miami. And then if I move somewhere else, like you guys are here in Texas. So I have to like get out and like make my heart happy and be like, okay, I can go back to Texas now.
You can always visit. And that's why like I think we talked about long distance family in the first episode or something. You have to make time for people. Like, it's hard living apart, but there's always a plane. Yeah. There's a car.
But also, like, it is expensive. So imagine, like, once your child turns 2,
you have to pay for that ticket.
That's a full.
I used to love her not having to pay. You know you're supposed to take your birth certificate with when you travel?
You're supposed to, but they don't check it. So I'm up until 18, which is wild. I actually will say that TSA actually scares me in the US. The fact that they don't check like date of birth or that you are the parent.
See, Savannah was for long until Sean came into our life, very shy. Like if you talk to her, she would just like put her head down and she'd cry,
and she does not look like you.
No, she would not like. You know, she just get shy and wouldn't say anything. And so when we would travel, I used to get so nervous. I'm like, this is your name. This is how old you are. Because they would ask her, and the first few times she just sat there. And I'm like,
oh my goodness.
This is my child, I swear.
No, it's actually really wild.
They don't check
anything. They literally will ask you what's her name on the ticket, and that's it.
Her. They say, what's your name, sweetheart? I'm like, she's not going to talk to you.
To leave South Africa, like if you're living with your child and you're the only parent leaving or you're separated, you need to have like an affidavit to say that you're like the other parent is allowing the mom or dad to travel with the child. So that is, I think that was like wild for me.
I think I'm going to start carrying like some sort of document, like her social security card or something, because in times like that where she does get shy or, you know, you never know.
Yeah. I will say, this is my confession for today. We milked Haley's age for a free flight until like
Oh yeah, they don't check.
2 months, 2 years, 4
And
months.
she's so small. You could still say she's 2.
Well, now she's really, well, she talks too much and she literally will say it. But because they don't check ID documents, domestic flights.
That's such a good idea. I should do that with Savannah. I didn't do that. I was too honest. I get too scared. They're gonna like track me down. Amazon's already on tracking me down. And she's so petite though, it's so easy.
Yeah, she was tiny.
Savannah
and again,
shot up
she
a
was sitting on our
bean
lap.
sprout,
We never took another seat. And yeah. But I was like, your system
That's a good
failed
idea.
you. That's you. But internationally, obviously she needs a passport. It really does break my heart when I have to pay like over $1,000 for a flight for a child that still like wants to sit on my lap all the way. But for us to like go home to South Africa, 3 people, that's almost $6,000. So throw in another kid, that's $8,000 just for the tickets. That's if we leave tickets for like last minute, but you can minimum get a return flight like 1,200 each.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
I shouldn't complain then, because ticket to here to Wisconsin and back is $300.
I remember I tried to help you.
That's still so expensive. Like, I don't know. Flights used to be like 2 something when I would go, and now it's like easily close to 4.
Yeah, I definitely will say, like, I would not recommend anybody to take your child to Disney if they're like under the age of 3. We did when my nephews and Haley was 2.
Took your kid?
No, like if anybody wants to do Disney, like first of all, do not take a newborn to Disney. Yes, it's free, the Disney park ticket, but it is so expensive getting there, accommodation, food in the parks.
We're going next year.
And like you're in a like the kid's in a pram. Yeah. It is so freaking full, especially around like the fireworks time. You can't move with you can't even move yourself. So now you're going with a stroller. Yeah.
No,
we took them obviously like last year. Haley was about just on 2. My nephew was 2 and 4. That was so nice. But it was, I would also say like don't go in a group of people. No, only just you guys. It was so difficult because we were torn. Like all the kids wanted to do their own thing, and it's a long day, especially if you're staying till the fireworks.
We used to go every single year up until like high school, and then we like stopped. So I've been so many times and I love it, but Sean's never been, Savannah's never been.
That's gonna be so
We're gonna go next year. We're gonna do like early Christmas gift, but their Christmas is completely booked out already. Like everything's full.
Yeah.
We went like right at the end of September, early October, and my mom said the parks were like not overcrowded. They've decorated for Halloween.
Because it's still like summer. Like nobody really wants to be in Florida.
The weather was like okay, but it was, you still wear tank tops and shorts. And then I was telling Sean, because I was like, we're gonna have to start like really sitting down and figuring out like what we need to put aside.
Yeah.
I was like, plane tickets are easily $400. He's like, why don't we drive? I was like, oh, that will save so much money.
But it is far.
Yeah, but I've drove there before. Like I've drove from here to Miami.
Yeah, I did that at 9.5 months pregnant.
It's stupid, but Orlando's a little bit closer.
What we thought was going to be 18 hours ended up being 4 days. Because I was pregnant, so we had to stop. 4 days. We also had a U-Haul, and you can't drive more than like 55 miles with a U-Haul. We had 2 dogs. No. Girl, when the opportunity comes knocking, I was like, let's go, pack it up, pack it up. Like imagine this highly pregnant lady packing up her whole apartment into a U-Haul, driving 18 hours. My mother-in-law did go with because she was going to help drive, but she's a very nervous driver. Yeah. So after the first hour of her driving with me, I called Rances and I said, you need to take your mother unless this child is going to be born on the side of the road.
While I'm changing my oil. I can't believe you did that. Yeah, because you had like Haley.
Yeah. Basically, I was due in December. Rances got the job opportunity in November. We always spoke about moving, but we were going to move when Haley started school. Mm-hmm. And the opportunity came. They needed him to start within 3 weeks. And they said if he doesn't take the position, unfortunately they have to give it to somebody else, and he would need to re-interview. At that time I was working remote, and I was like, I'm going to be on maternity leave anyway. We'll figure it out as it goes. And yeah, one thing led to another. The only asset we had in Miami was our apartment. But you know your girl, I found us like a long-term renter while we were listed. We didn't really want to give up our apartment in Miami, but our realtor,
that bow like chewed the wall.
Yeah. And we literally had just redone the kitchen, so we never got like any.
You can remodel apartments
when you own it.
Oh, you owned it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just renting.
No. We owned that one, and we never got to enjoy it. It was literally we designed the entire kitchen, and his worry was if he came to Texas and I stayed, he would miss the birth of Haley. And then I said, let's just do it. Like, fuck it. Like, that's just the type of person I am. If my mood is like, whatever, we'll figure it out as we go. We did it. We packed up a U-Haul. We sold, because we were renting while we were listed, we ended up listing our apartment as fully furnished. And
that's nice.
The day that we moved out, people were moving into the corner apartment on our floor. They came over to see our apartment. Because they had the same layout. They didn't understand like why the kitchen was so nice. And Rances obviously was saying, we just did it. They ended up buying our apartment for him and his wife to live in, and then their apartment, which they were supposed to live in, they ended up renting. So we were really lucky. It's obviously COVID times. I think they had moved from California. So we were super lucky, but we just decided like sell everything because we don't know where we're going to live in Texas. We were in an Airbnb for a bit, and I said the only things that we need to take is like we just had a baby shower. We'll take all the newborn things, our clothes, the dogs, and that was it. And we had 2 cars, and we were just trying to obviously also save where we could, and to have a truck. Like, first of all, I couldn't fly. I was already over the limit to fly. I mean, you could, but you shouldn't. And he didn't want me to drive separately, so that's why his mom went with. But she was very nervous all the way. But again, like, it was just a funny journey. But
I tell Sean that when he went to Chicago for work, he was like, there's job opportunities. I'm like, can you please ask? Like, if that's one place we can move, I would. Because we moved to Indiana when I was going into my junior year of high school. So it's like 45 to an hour away from like the city of like downtown Chicago. Like a train, like 20-minute
that's like
car
us
to a train. It's so easy. And I'm like, if that's one place we could move and raise a family, I would.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's hard to get him away from, because he's born and raised here.
It's tough. Some people look at us and they're like, why would you move here from Miami? And it's like, it's a different lifestyle. Like, we're in our 30s. We don't party anymore. We live central downtown Miami. But I just couldn't see like pushing a pram around Bayside. And we love where we live here. Yes, Texas doesn't have a lot to offer in terms of like the beach is 5 minutes away, and that's really all that I would want near me. Galveston does not count as a beach. And Lake Conroe, it's a bit sketchy, but
no, because we're like we get all the nasty water.
But I mean, I think we enjoy Miami now, going on vacation, because when you live somewhere, you don't always,
more when you go back.
Exactly. When you live somewhere, you don't really appreciate, or you don't have the time. Like, we worked and lived there. So Monday to Friday was work. You come home, you do what you need to do. And then on a Saturday, you try to enjoy it, but then also like you see family and friends and you do what you need to do. And then my Sunday is like a rest day. I don't like to do things on a Sunday because that's like my mental preparation for the week ahead. So we would end up going to the beach once a month, like, unless we forced ourselves. We miss it now, but again, if we're going to Miami for a week to visit family and friends or just get away, we're at the beach every day. No
people
hassles.
say like when you live near the beach, you don't end up going, and that's so true. Like, I feel like if we lived near one, we wouldn't go as much. Would you?
I disagree. Well, I like really like
hate
it.
the sand.
If I literally lived with the beach on my doorstep.
Oh,
The
I'd
way
be
that
out
I
there every
sit in the
day.
garage
Yeah.
is how I'm going to be sitting like on my balcony.
No, I love the beach, but with kids, the sand is too much.
Yeah.
It like does not get out of your car.
You have to sweep every day or call John Travolta because
Yeah.
it gets sandy.
Like
I cannot believe I just
why did you say John Travolta?
because it gets sandy. That's her name in Oh my word. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode.
Time to wrap it up.
Well, I think we're funny. I think
I
I'm freaking
do.
hilarious. If you think so, like, share, and follow
Yes,
Wild
please.
Thoughts _podcast.
Our
Please.
accounts are listed.
We'll see you in episode 6.